There is no past. There is no future. There is no past. Only now. Why? These are my people. 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 You're a monster. You're a monster. You're a monster. You're a monster. Hurt. Breathe.
Yo guys! So I think I got everything working. If there's something with audio not as good as you wanted, it's not loud enough, just let me know and I'll fix it on the go. And for those of you that are already here in the stream, I hope you like these little snippets that I've showed you in this few minutes that I've been doing this. And yeah, I want to do a little feedback stream because I really like that, to give back to the community. I really like to listen to other people's music and I really like to chat a bit with you guys, and I would love to know what you guys think of each other's tracks as well. So try to be a little bit nice to each other because we're all trying to make great music. Some people are still beginners, some people are a lot better already, but I think just be nice to each other and let's hear what you guys have made. I brought me some fresh cup of coffee for this, and a lot of people joining already. That's great. So I think we're just going to start with the first one, and I think the guy who sent it the first was on Monday. He has made some psytrance, which I like if done properly. So let's see how this is sounding. Audio is echoing. Not anymore because I forgot to turn off the microphone of my iPad. No more echoes, I think. It's good now? Yeah, right? Just let me know if the audio is good and we can get a start. I got it. Right, let's see. DJ Alexander, welcome to Psytrance. He didn't give much more of an explanation, so let's just listen to it. DJ Alexander, I really like some things in this track. There are some things that need some work, but I really like that you try to give your own spin on Psytrance, because normally when I hear a lot of Psytrance, it's just Psytrance, and I really like when somebody tries to do something different with the genre. I really like the idea of using the hardstyle kick with the Psytrance bass. One thing I would really suggest you to do is to have a look at the hardstyle kick, so it's much more, it has much more of a punch, because now it has that hardstyle feel, but it's not punching through the mix yet. But I think that's really a really cool beginning of the track, and then you go to those really weird kind of ethnic kind of guitar patches, which I really like. And then there's one more thing that I think has a lot of potential. It's the melody. But as you can probably hear, it will be accentuated in the stream because of the quality of the stream. But there's a lot of compression going in your leads. Especially when this part kicks in, when the kick and the leads and everything come together. I get that's the most difficult part to get right. But for now, try to make some room with your EQing, make some room with reverb, like, so that the kick has its place, that the reverb and the leads has its place, and so it's not everything like inside each other. So, really like where you're going with this. Looking forward to hear the finished product, and let's move on to the next one. Exactly what Stroke Music says. Just keep on producing. I always say that if your ideas are great, but technically you're not there yet, it's much easier to get to great technical craftsmanship, because that's basically just practice. And if you, yes, I also hear a lot of well-known producers which are technically really good, but their ideas are a bit boring. Then I'd rather listen to something that isn't technically as well produced, but has a really great original idea. So the next one is Horizon Music. Horizon? Sorry if I pronounced some things wrong. And let's see what this is. If my email were loaded. Yes. Let's hear. And Thank you for the feedback on the audio. It's really hard to hear it back, so all the feedback is much appreciated. And if there are some things that I can't fix yet, then I will certainly fix it on the next stream. My English is something that won't be that easily fixed, but that's an ongoing process. So, let's hear Horizon Music. Did he say something? No, he was like, Husman, just listen and then it's gonna be okay. So, let's have Horizon Music with Progressive House 2. And the vocal is just a placeholder until he gets an original one. Just so you know. By the way, I'm gonna skip all you guys' intros and outros. Just so you know. Like this already.
When you feel you're missing out on the things in life, on the things in life. When I'm so far from you, everything seems so dark, but I remember you gave me more. Feel you missing out on the things in life, on the things in life. I'm so far from you, everything seems so dark, but I remember you gave me more. If you should ever, oh, I'm so far from you, we won't let ever between.
I really like this. It's really progressive-y, really in the style of Dub Vision, the older stuff that they used to produce. I think if you get a really great vocal for this, something that's a little less repetitive towards the second breakdown, because now the first breakdown is awesome, and then the second breakdown I think there's some room to make some different kind of vibes vocal-wise. But I really like the melody, I really like the chords. Something that I would give as a tip is to make one of these leads, I think there you have a few leads going on, to make one of them a bit more mono and a bit less reverby, so you have one that really sticks through the mix, and that's in the end something that will really bring this track and bring the impact of the drop even much more forward. But all in all, really like it, and I really look forward to see how it turns out with the vocal. Let's see, I'm gonna go up a bit. Let's go a bit up and down, up and down. The Visaria. Bass house kind of song with 90s vocals. I like bass house and I like 90s vocals from time to time, so let's hear what this is about. Let's see, vocal used in a complete different song. On this before, Lucas and Steve released their song, so I don't call stream. Alright. No, don't fall for it. fits the vocal well. Alright, what I really like about this one is that there's a really clear song structure, like the arrangement is really well thought out. Something that I'm missing with this one is that I really like when Jonas started this really bass house kind of genre, that he's from time to time in the track use a really cool sound design bass line, like on the first or the eighth or the second 8 bars. There were really cool little additions to the bass line, to the drop, which really keeps you interested. Now I can really hear a cool little loop going on. But throughout the loop is progressing, I'm still like wanting to hear a bit more original, new kind of sounds to it. And I think if you would like dive, it's already finished I guess, but for next production, think about, it's sometimes good to finish a track, then leave it for like a month or so, and then come back to it and then see what kind of things you can add as well to it. So that's what I would suggest. But all in all, great track, great arrangement first and foremost, and looking forward to new stuff. Right, let's see. Joseph. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. What do I think about this track? Let's hear it. You're welcome, the Visor. I hope I pronounce it right. Right, Joseph Hagen, Get High is the next one. I'm gonna drink all night just to get high. Come on. I'm gonna drink all night just to get high. Really dope, man. I really like this one, and I really think the drop is actually something really, nah, not really. I mean, it got the usual big room kind of sound, but you're doing something interesting with it, and that's something I really like. It's really well mixed. The drops, it's really powerful. It really hits hard. I really like that you do that little octave in the melody, with my great vocal skills. But I really like the drop. I really like the breakdown. I really like this part after the drop, this little arc thingy. Really sets a really dark kind of feel, which I really like. And then for the melody, I really like that second melody that comes in. You first have like the chords with the melody, and then there comes another layer on top. That's something that I really like. I personally would add some more high frequencies to that melody and some distortion, but that's preference, and everybody has their own taste in that. But all in all, I really like the track, and I'm gonna keep a lookout for your upcoming releases because I think it's really a dope sounding track. Joseph. Let's see. Shall we do one in the middle or something? Like so many. Let's see here. Oh, he's in a. I'm not very. You know, I'm not very professional. I'll make that open. I'll make that call, Florian, if you're very professional or not. No, just kidding. Right, Florian. This track starts off really well. It starts off with, like, you can really hear that you're, like, it sounds technically not as polished as a lot of other tracks, but I can hear some really cool elements in this. Like, you have a really cool vocal melody going on in the beginning, and then you have one pretty great melody, like a trancey melody, but then it comes to a point and you try to do everything. Like, the track has to go from left to right to up and back. Try to narrow down what you want to use in the track. Try to look for like that one chord progression and build everything around it, around that. Because now at one point you have like this. Everything is going through each other. So try to use this. I would suggest just keep that little chord melody that you have here. I think that one, I think that's the best part of your track in combination with the vocals. Try to look for some more or less generic sounds, and that's a journey that you have to undertake yourself. It's not coming like in one day. Just have some fun with it, have some fun with Ableton, have some fun with your DAW, whatever you use, and just try to work on some original sounds, work on some own sounds, make some plugs. Plugs are not that difficult to make. It's basically just a saw wave in a cutoff filter, and yeah, just have fun with it. And I think you're getting a great start now. You already made your first track, you already made your first arrangement, and now it's time to like journey further until you have a more technical, well produced track. So I really hope you have something with this feedback, and I really hope that you're gonna make some great music after the stream. So, next one, that was Florian. I'm indeed checking demos in random order, because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. Let's see. Fabi sent something, a lot of Germans, or is that just me? Let's see what Fabi got. Cypher, is that the one who, oh no, it's Suffix. Cypher and Fenin Scarcity. Let's hear what it sounds.
Scarcity.
Yes, hard style.
to restrain me. An illusion could never contain me. These scarcity thoughts, with their firewalls and oppressive limits, are falling away. A new humanity is emerging. Evolution is the way of the universe. It is inevitable. Scarcity.
I really like this.
Evolution is the way of the universe. It is inevitable. So why do you fight change? Control. Scarcity.
This is the kind of music that I love, so I really like this track. It's like melodically it's superb. It's really like the vocals, really like the breakdown. Still some things to be gained in the mixing department when it comes to the hardstyle kicks. Not that I know how to do it, but I can, if I compare it to, for instance, atmosphere and stuff, that's where you can still become a bit better when it comes to that. But man, melodically it's amazing. Really amazing track. So Cypher and Fennon, Scarcity, get that shit because it's for free. And then we are going to move on to the next one. Let's see. A new one. Jonas Johnson. That's an awesome name. Better than Nick Husman's. I'm gonna release this on a party. This was the first track I made a remix on back in 2009. Started to make series 2 years ago. Love your music. Alright, thanks man. Let's have a listen. Weekend has come. I wish. Fast forward to 30 seconds. Sir, yes sir.
Weekend has come, I'll see you again. Monday to Friday, I'll wait for the time with you and all my love. I'll lay in your arms, I kissing your lips. Be no more away from you, so that is the time. I'm working on me, forgot all the lonely nights with TV. I think that will be enough. My future, I swear, not what we need. I come back again forever. Weekend has come, go! Weekend has Weekend has come, go!
Alright, let's see. You were 2 years ago you started seriously making music. That's pretty good, man. It's like melodically it's not that groundbreaking, but if you're only producing for 2 years and you're technically mixing it already this well, then it's really good, because I couldn't do that in 2 years. I really like how you put the leads in the mix. They're really dry, but that's also that's what also makes them come through the mix really well. I really like the kick you used, or I really like how you mix that kick. I personally don't like those kind of kicks, like those old trance kind of hard trance kind of kicks, but they're really well mixed. I think it works really well for this track. It's a really cool party song, and I think if you, yeah, I think it's really great. It's personally not for me per se, because my music is a little bit different kind of leads, but I think it's really well mixed and great track overall. So let's see if I can find something. I saw a bearer here, right? On the stream. Let's try that one. Be error. Let's see. Loose. Get loose, mother. Mother, mother, mother. Dope track, man. I really like that you used almost all the stereo spectrum with your hi-hats. They're all going around the studio right now, and I really like this original kind of approach with the little percussive kind of drop with the big 808s, which really are mixed well. I can hear a little of those Fabian Mazur kind of sound in there with that really almost like slow kind of rhythm, which really fits those 808s really well. I'm personally not that well known in this genre, so I wouldn't know. Like, for me personally, I would go for more like something melodic in this breakdown, but that's not that's my kind of trancey background, poppy background. But I think for this track it really works well that you have it so pretty dark, and that's something that I really like in music. That's something as a original theme. I think you nailed it with this one, and yeah, looking forward to hearing new stuff by you. So next, who do we have? Let's try swap. So hype. Oh yeah, oh no. So let's try this track. Open a new window. So hype. And the track is called Fire. got a big track here. If you've changed some little things mixing wise and a little things arrangement wise, you got a great idea with those steps, and you got a great, I need to remember to look in the camera because my screen is where all the things are happening. You have a great thing going on with that breakdown and the elements that you use, but now you have to, now I would really think of this track as a DJ tool, so to say. Like you have Armin as ping pong, which, what is good about ping pong? Not the drop, not the melody, but he has that effect that works really well in the breakdown on a live occasion, especially because there's a lot of silence in it. And now you have these stabs here. There's that big step, but then you have all sort of kind of electoral noise going through it. I would just leave that for in the beginning of the breakdown. Just have that big impact. Have a bit of silence, another big impact, and then gradually add stuff. So you need to think of this track. I think that how would a VJ go about this with the lights and everything? You're on ultra main stage in the night. Armin is playing a song, and I would think to really bring that breakdown to life, and then really make some silence, and then really build to us, because that the drop works really well. But then the drop technically itself, when it first hit in, I was instantly like, this kick doesn't have any punch. So you have like this fire. Like the bass is pretty dope, but you need to have a really clean kick with this to make this work. I would suggest just go on Splice, look for some psytrance kicks which are really solid, really short, and then I think you have your track will be going a totally different direction. Next, you have these really cool stabs. I would suggest to put a lead reverb return so that you can automate those reverbs. So you can sometimes like really bounce them out. So it's a really, so it changes it up a bit more. But I think you have a potentially great track here. Just have a look at those things, and looking forward to hear the final product. Right, Mr. Jake Tong. I saw the email to page and want to send my track I made recently. Right, let's hear it, Jake. So thanks for sending your track. Oh, sorry, I'm butchering your name. Right, Tripfire the Dive. If I can open it on Dropbox. Perhaps I should open another one already. So in case this one takes a long time. Oh, there it goes. Pause this for a moment. No, just leave me alone. Right, this is from Tripfire or Jake Tong, The Dive. I think we're going uplifting with this one. And we're buffering with this one. Pardon. Sorry, I'm gonna skip this bit. Like the melody of this one, Jake or Tripfire. I really like that you have gone a different approach with the uplifting trance, like make it really about the melody, but I think it's still missing something. It's missing something that really catches the ear. If somebody would ask me, do you remember that Tripfire track? I can't bring out like a vocal or a specific kind of melody which is unique. So I would suggest to find something to liven up this little breakdown a bit, so you have a really more unique kind of feel in this breakdown. I always say try to find a theme and really try to add some little sounds to it as well, some intricacies, so that the track is interesting to hear like the whole time through. Because I really like the first 8 bars of the drop, because that you have the main melody, but then I'm like, I'm missing something. I'm missing some cool stuff. I'm missing some vocals, perhaps some more plucky sounds, some more pads, some samples. So I would try to work on this more a bit. You have a really great starting point with this track already, and then just look for some really unique kind of sounds to liven this track up a bit. Then we go to Louis Solar. It's called Shutdown. Hey, Andrew.
Go for APU shutdown on time.
Is about quartzo. I've never heard of it. I have to go back to this break again because I was multitasking and I'm a stereotype guy. I can't multitask. I really like the drop though, but I want to hear the melody back.
Go for APU shutdown on time.
I really like the reverb effect you did. I would make the melody a bit different with the lead a bit different, because now it's really screamy. So I would suggest to make the lead, try to work a bit with some pitch modulation or something, or with some chorus effects, so it's not too screamy. Perhaps even add a lot of lead that is like an octave below this one. And something that I sometimes do, but it's a lot of work, is pitch down the whole track like 1 or 2 semitones, if that's possible. Sometimes that does the trick as well. But I like this arrangement wise, and I would really love to hear the final product in the end. No, I don't. Well, the main reason why I don't know quartzo is that I don't listen to a lot of dance music, and especially not big room music at the moment. I mainly listen to pop music, film music, because I basically, the genre of EDM and big room, if you're gonna listen to all those tracks, they're gonna get really similar from time to time. I have that with any kind of dance music, and I really noticed, like for the last year, when I was listening to a lot of other DJs' music, I got tempted to try a lot of things that they use instead of trying to find new ways to make music. So that's the reason why I don't know quartzo. It must be great, I think, if you guys are so positive about it. And the track that I hear, which wasn't quartzo, was great. So enough about me. It's about you guys today. All right, Nicholas, WHL. Let You Go, my first single. Awesome, man, that you got your first single. Dove Bulvi. I want you to love you again.
capable to leave you forever. Maybe I should surrender. Forget it all, baby. It's time to let you go. I'll let you go. And I am capable to leave you forever. Maybe I should surrender. Forget it all, baby. It's time to let you go. Baby, it's time to let.
Yeah, but this is the kind of music that I would play in my free time as well. I really like this vocal because I really like how she hits those high notes. And yeah, with all those kind of hexagon tracks, when they're produced this well, they really are really a pleasure to listen to, because there are not a lot of elements, but all the elements that are in there are really well mixed. Like the kick and the bass is like really well mixed. The melody is great. It's really simple. It's just almost like a one sawtooth kind of melody, but it really works really well. So awesome job, man. I really like this one. So let's see what we have. Caffrey, thanks for taking the time to listen, man. Been a fan of your work for 4 years now. No, next. No, just kidding. Let's see it. Caffrey, let's hear what you got, man. The stream will last till 19. I think I'm gonna do another half hour or something, because I like this. New Horizon from Caffrey. Really looking forward to hear this. Mix this one. I really like how you brought the kick and the leads and everything together. I think the melody is great. It reminds me a bit of Island Bluestone. And I would only, the only criticism I would give is to make the breakdown a bit more interesting, so that everything is a bit, it's more like it's just a piano, and a piano can be great if it's a piano like, for instance, Yiruma River Flows in You, but I think there's some room to add some stuff here and add some little intricacies to make it really more unique and more stand out from the crowd a bit more. But I think the main melody is great. Perhaps it's room for a little melody on top that plays a little jingle or something. But I really think you have a really great mix down going. And when that's done, everything else is just a creative thing, which is always fun to do. So, great work in progress, man. Looking forward to listening to another one. Let's see some old ones. We've got here Jordan Forer. Jordan Forer. Hey man, sorry, the feedback like this track is about to finish. Forget it on the melody. We end up giving a license. We're not saying the actual track itself, but just what? I really appreciate not saying the actual track title itself, but just the artist names. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm gonna have a listen. Because I can't listen to it if it's up on the screen, so then you should have sent it. Then you shouldn't have sent it. It's now on the internet. Everybody knows. It's all done. It's gone. Okay.
I've been waiting all my life to find someone like you. I've been searching in the dark for a heart to hold on to. Wherever your love goes, wherever your heart goes, I'll be waiting there forever if I can. I'm here for a time. If only you'll be mine, I'll be waiting there forever if I wherever your love goes.
Alright, this is a track that has a lot of things which aren't right yet, but I don't care because the main elements of this track are awesome. The melody is great, the vocal is great, except that it's out of tune sometimes. So that's a thing to work on. Like mixing wise, the leads are a bit too harsh, especially in the drop. But then again, you have the main melody is awesome, the vocal is awesome, like the melody of the vocal. I didn't pay much attention to what she was singing. Perhaps she's in love or something, but I didn't pay attention to that. But the melody of the vocal, the breakdown, the sounds, like the melody here and the break is awesome. And the vocal colors really well with the melody as well. So really take your time and really go into the mixing part and the technical part of this one. For instance, like here the drop. There's a really sharp high synth that I don't like, and there are a lot of stuff really fighting with each other. So really take your time mixing this one really good, and then you have a really awesome track, and I can't wait to hear the final product. So thanks for sharing this one, Jorza and Vika. Oh, said the name already, so let's see. I'm gonna go to Visor. What does Visor have for us today? As I was telling, when I listen to... No, the thing is, when I listen to Hans Zimmer's music and I try to play a little piano, I always think I'm a shit producer as well. So that's, everybody has that, and it's better not to compare yourself to other people. I think I'm gonna have to do this more often because I will never be able to do all these tracks. But that's great. I really like that this producer community is growing. I started working more. I started doing more and more stuff and trying to teach you guys something, trying to share my music through my own social media pages and not be like waiting for other labels and stuff to share music. And I really like to share sounds with you guys and music with you guys. So I really like that you're all sending in your music, and I really hope I can try to improve a little, give some tips. So Visor with Hurricane. Did he say something about it? No. Let's hear it. For this one is the same thing as for the last one. You have some really great elements in there, but technically it needs to be worked out a bit better. Like for instance, like the melody has potential, but the timing of some of the notes is a bit awkward and there's a bit too much going on. There's a bit too much notes going on, so I would suggest to lower the reverb a bit and just really makes the melody, the notes itself stand out a bit more and make them a bit more, how to say it, more logically. So what I try to do is just put a metronome and see if I can really hum it along without struggling to keep track of it. Yeah. And then for the drop, I really like the melody that you have, but now it sounds really compressed and really harsh and stuff. So what I would do, I feel that you have with that kick, of that kick bass combination, that hardstyle kind of bass kick. But I would suggest to try to look for a different kind of punch for the kick, which is really short and really clean. And I always tell people when they are struggling with finding the right punch, just use the kick of my June Patreon pack, the heroic kick. Layer that with a different kind of top kick, and then you have a really clean punch which works with almost every kick of bass that I use. So that's a little Patreon tip. Shameless plug. Now for the leads, I would also just look like, I think just start with the kick and the bass, get that right first, and then look at the leads, because they have some potential, but they're now really harsh, and I can't hear if that's because of the leads or it's because of the kick and the bass. So that's what I think of this one, and I hope this helps. Trust me, Visor, I heard you use my sample, it was the fill. But that's what they're for. That's what they're for, so let's go up again. J Ghost. Dope name. Ich mir. Let's hear it. Sorry, Quartzo, didn't know who you were before, but I'm gonna keep an eye on you now. Alright, before I'm gonna say something like constructive criticism, there's one thing that you have to fix, is that you did a little issue with the automation here, because the build-up in your second drop is louder than the drop itself. And we don't want that. Right, the track itself, you have a really dope kind of style. It really reminds me of the Saber guys. The thing I would really say, like, you have the drops nailed down. The kicks could be a bit more unique. But I really like the way of the drop, that you have a clean drop. It's not too crowded with all kind of melodies. So the drop is awesome, but I would go into the breakdown and take a step back a bit, just relax, just have a few moments in the breakdown to also for the listener to take the energy out a little bit, so it's not always on full energy, because if you have like a lot of energy in the drop and then the breakdown is building again and again and again and then the drop is coming. But if you make it a little bit less hectic in the breakdown in the beginning, it can be just for 4 or 8 bars or just the same arrangement but just less sounds, and then build up, then the impact of the drop will be even harder. So that's what I would suggest for this one. But great track nonetheless. And keep in mind to fix that thingy with the utility or something. Right, let's see. Zombik. Oh, he thought he was smart. He did 3. Well, I'm only gonna listen to 1. Also guys, great constructive criticism I see in these chat, which I really like. I come from the generation that we still used to be on forums, and that was horrible. You don't want to know how many times I could yell that almost through the computer about how bad my music was, and there wasn't any constructive. It was just like terribly shit or a little shit, and that was also the way how they approach you. They were really like toxic kind of communities. So great to see that you guys are really trying to help each other, and that's something that I would really like to encourage on this channel. So Zombik, ID Hardstyle 2, drop not done yet. The drop is not done yet, so I'm not gonna comment on that, because I can clearly hear there is a lot of things that still need to be added on that. But I really like what you did with the melody. It's a really upbeat kind of happy hardstyle kind of melody, and I really like that. So I would really encourage you to just make a cool drop for this. And something that I keep saying is also for you to don't crowd everything with all kinds of sounds and everything. Make sure that every sound that you use, even if you have like 100 sounds, make sure that all 100 sounds have a purpose and they're not there for fillers. So that's what I would like to add for this one. Let's see what we're gonna check. We're gonna check Vexes. I have to go to Germany soon. A lot of Germans here. Unstoppable.
27 RPI, both the victim and the suspect here on search and just.
Really solid production, man. I really, it's really technically really well done. For me, the melody is a little bit not that ear-catching. Unfortunately, I really like it when things are a bit changing throughout the track, but it's mainly because that genre is not something that I listen to a lot, because it's like you have a breakdown, you have a lead, you have a drop, and then you have the same kind of breakdown with the same kind of lead. I really like when there are parts where things change up a bit, but technically really well produced. Only thing I'm hearing that the vocal in the beginning of the breakdown is really loud. The effect is really cool with that almost old radio kind of sound. But yeah, I would really try to, for further production, try to add some, to make it less repetitive, because now it's like melody, drop melody, melody, drop melody, and it stays a bit the same. So that's what I would like to save for this track. Let's see, Max Cry. Don't you cry for me, Max. It's all gonna be okay. Thank you for the feedback. Well, I haven't given any. Let's hear what Max Cry has to say. Ah, cheeky, promoting his own channel. Right, Max, explore. Let's explore the sound. I really like the beginning. The piano is great. I really like the melody of the piano. It sets a really cool kind of tone. But then you're introducing some sounds which are really like, they're really overused, and really make it sound a bit less technical than it I think it could be. So I would suggest to the main leads to make them a bit more organic. Listen, for instance, to pop music, what DJ Snake does with his sounds, and what's the guy, Lauf, or what's his name, Lauf or something like that, or Zed. I know this is like a progressive track, but I think if you would really use those crazy Diplo, Major Lazer kind of sounds in this kind of genre, I think you would have something much more unique. So that's what I would suggest for this one. And then again, in the breakdown, try to make the second part a little bit more interesting, so the listener will stay interested in hearing the whole track. Right, who wants to listen to a track next? Let's see, Ayo Martinez. Martins. I did Click. Ayo Martinez test. Cool artwork. The first thing that came to mind when listening to this track, I was singing in my head hardcore vibes, because that's a bit like the melody. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I like what you're trying to do, but I think you could go a bit more creative with the sounds, because now it's like really, it's like you take the big room kind of approach, the big room kind of sounds, and just use them. They sound really big, but there's a lot of big room going about nowadays. So it's, if you're gonna do something in that genre, I think it would really benefit you if you're gonna try to use sounds that are not too common in that genre. So then you can keep everything how you like it, the melodies and stuff, but just try to mix it up a bit. A great example is what, for instance, Maurice West does, that he changes up the rhythm and puts some future house in there in some parts. So try to increase the originality a bit of this one. Let's see. Size S. Oh, hello. Size S. Yeah, it's also a bit like In the End, actually. Right, size S set soon, huh? Can only do a few still, then I have to go. Come on, size S, you can do it. I like this one, man. I really like the sound you used. I could hear some cool lead synths in there, and yeah, I think I really like when people use the overly used psytrance rhythm, but I really I don't like when I use it, but I really like when I use it in a different kind of way. You made it just like triplets, but then on a slower BPM, which really gives a cool vibe. I can hear some heroic vibes in there, with a cheeky Maurice West sample as well. And but that's the thing, I really like when people use samples and just make them their own and just use different kind of treatment on them, so you get a more original kind of track with those great samples. So the melody's great, I really like the drops, and Yeah. Awesome tune, man. Alright, I got time for, yeah, a few. I'm gonna go downstairs. Let's see. Let's see. Inigo. Inigo. Let's see. Inigo, Resbrow, U, original mix 2. That's how my tracks always look in my folder as well. 2 or master, final. Alright, I really love this breakdown. I really like that. That's almost like hypnotizing, the breakdown, especially with those sort of melody choirs kind of stuff. For the drops, I like him, but I think you can improve on them still, especially when you're doing, you have at one point you have like a triplet rhythm, but there's also a 16th note rhythm going through it. So I would really, I think it's here. Yeah. There's something weird going on there. So I would, yeah, it's sometimes, there are really cool parts in this one, but there are sometimes a bit of parts where I'm getting lost a bit. So I would try to make them a bit more logically. The melodies, I quite like them, but they feel for me a bit too much as they're still building up to something. So I would perhaps make some, delete some notes and add a little melody in between, like W&W, for instance, do a lot with their older stuff, like the State of Trance anthem. That would be a great example. But nonetheless, I think you basically have all the elements in there. You just need to find the right spots, in my opinion. But what do I know? Right, I'm gonna do one more, and then I have to go to a meeting. Yes, I have to do. All right, I'm gonna do the newest one, and then I'm gonna do one more. So I'm gonna do two, like this one, and I'm gonna do one more, and then this guy has to do grown-up stuff, sort of. Mesut Kya, entitled 93. I hope it's not version 93. Yeah, this is really cool. What I like about this one is that you're not using the kind of rhythms that a lot of people are using, especially in the drops. It has a really cool groove, which you don't hear a lot of big room music, and especially when you add that little percussion thing here. It's like dun, 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 but it's more like, it's almost like I don't know, it's different, which I like. And yeah, the second drop I don't like as much, but that's much more because I like the first drop really a lot. I love the little pitch bendy stuff. I think this breakdown really leans itself towards even more ethnic kind of sounds. I wouldn't go like straight Kashmir, but I would really invite you to really explore the ethnicity for this track to make it even more like that Arabian kind of feel. But really cool track. And I'm gonna let's see which one hasn't been let's see which one we're gonna check. Check mic check 1 2. Which one do you guys think I should check? I'm gonna go for this one. So yeah, this is the last one, and then grown up shit. Laser release called Parallel Universe. So that was a close up, sorry for that. After 1 year is back on Maddox. Alright. Let's hear it. This was really dope, and I think it's a great ending track for today. I really like what you did with the break melody, and then the drop melody is even better, which I really like. The mix down is really crisp, really clean, really dark progressive, like kind of Reggio stuff, but really uniquely done. So I really like that. So this was the latest, the last track that I'm gonna do. This guy is in need of a holiday, so I'm gonna go do that first. So I won't be uploading any videos for a few weeks, but I will be back next month with new stuff. Now tomorrow I'm releasing the new Patreon pack, and I think I'm gonna show you a little mix that I made for this. Let's see if I can find it. And then I'm gonna end it here. So I made a little mix, so you can already hear some of the sounds, and then after that I'm gonna head out. So let's hear it. Or not. Patreon pack for tomorrow with all the sounds from Mad King, one of my tracks that I released. And I really want to thank you for checking in and having this cool little live stream. I'm definitely gonna do this more often because I've had a lot of fun with you guys today. But first, time for holiday, and I'll catch you guys later. So take care, have a great evening, day, night, good morning. Doesn't matter anymore. So take care, bye bye.